the country have been negotiating on a model for a potential referendum. National Indigenous Affairs correspondent Bridget Brennan is at Uluru. Bridget, take us through the tone of the discussions over the last few days.
Well, talks have just wrapped, Joe, so we're at a really critical point right now. The delegates have just come out of the convention centre with big smiles on their faces. We understand there's been a unanimous position agreed upon that will be delivered in a couple of hours at Uluru at the community of Mutitjulu. We'll hear that position shortly. So it's been a really interesting 3 days. There's been a heated discussion, a lot of tension in some ways, but also a real call for unity from all of these delegates to come together and have a national position on constitutional reform to put to the Australian public.
What sort of unity has there been, Bridget, in bringing these people together from very different backgrounds, from different parts of the country?
Yeah, well, look, that was the fear, Joe, that it may well descend into a bit of a rabble. But everyone I've spoken to has said that for the most part, the process has been really respectful and people have kept on the job. And we understand people were here until 4 in the morning this morning, hammering out that position that they agreed upon this morning. So, the vast majority of people here seem very positive. There was tears outside the meeting today, hugging and cheering, and we understand the room erupted into applause, and there wasn't actually a vote on the position. It was just decided in the room that a show of applause would be enough to endorse the position, and that happened. And we did see yesterday a minority group walk out of these meetings. About 7 of the delegates say that they weren't happy with where this reform process was headed, and they're still around today, but I'm not sure whether they've been back in the meeting or not. But as I say, the vast majority of people getting on with the job.
Bridget, one of the elements of recognition is the feeling of being heard. How much is there an expectation that leaders around the country will hear and act on what these proposals eventually aim to achieve?
Well, the purpose of these talks is for the Referendum Council, which has been appointed by the government, appointed by the Prime Minister and the opposition leader, to go out and consult widely with Aboriginal people, and that's already been done over the last 6 months. There's already been a dozen delegations across the country where people have put their local views forward, and this is the national convention. So people here feel as though this statement should be heard by political leaders, that there are some very influential Indigenous people in this meeting, heads of large-scale Indigenous organisations. Some of the most powerful land councils in the country are here, and then you've got everyday ordinary Aboriginal Australians who are here also putting their views forward. So it's a diverse spread of people putting forward a united position, and they want political support for it. Of course, we'll have to see after today what kind of whether the politicians will be ready to accept what is likely to be a very bold proposal for a referendum.
Bridget Brennan reporting from Uluru. Thank you. Police in South Australia